It's not every day I get the opportunity to visit the grand opening of a DC fast charging network here in the US, but today is one of those days. It is Friday, December 27th, and I am in my F-150 Lightning driving west on Route 80 to Scranton, Pennsylvania. It's about 100 miles from my house, so it's only a little more than an hour and a half drive. And luckily, that's where one of the 4 Ionna locations that are opening up today is. If you watch this channel, you might have seen a video I put out a couple of weeks ago where I drove down to Apex, North Carolina to an Ionna site that appeared to be open that day because we were there charging our cars. But that was a sort of a private event for one day that was organized by my friend Kyle Connor from Out of Spec Motoring. So it wasn't really open to the public, and it was only open for that one day. Today is the day that Ionna is officially opening its network to the public. Now, it's only 4 of their locations. They have other locations that are going to be coming online very soon, but for today, it's only this location in Scranton, Pennsylvania. There is one in Apex, North Carolina, the site that we visited a couple weeks ago, and 2 in Ohio, one in Springfield and one in Willoughby. Those are the 4 locations that are being opened first from Ionna. As I said, others are going to open really soon. I think in a matter of weeks, they're going to have a couple more open. But I figured it'd be worthwhile driving out to Scranton and seeing what's going on there. For all I know, it's going to be very non-eventful. I don't think they have anything big planned or anything like that. I actually didn't even reach out to Ionna for this. This was a last-minute decision to drive there. I do know that members of the Northeast F-150 Lightning Club are going to be there, and I know some of those guys, so I figured at the very least I'll get to hang out with them for a bit. So with that said, I got about 75 miles to go. We'll see you when I get there. All right, so I just got off the highway and I'm about a mile from the location. And this Ionna Rechargery, they call their charging stations Rechargeries, is at a Sheetz, which is sort of like a convenience store that's along the major corridors mostly. We don't have any Sheetz in New Jersey. New Jersey mostly is owned by 2 chains, Quick Check and Wawa. I know whenever I drive south, Sheetz are all over the place, and they're out here in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So we are closing in on the site now. I wanted to make that distinction because when I went to the Apex, North Carolina site, it was a standalone site that was a repurposed old gas station. And I want to make sure everybody knows that that's not going to be all of the Ionna sites. They are going to have some standalone sites where they operate the whole site, like they do in the Apex, North Carolina site. But they're also going to be located at sites like this, like at a Sheetz, for instance, along major corridors. I mean, a lot of the real estate has already been taken on some of the major corridors and routes, so it makes much more sense to locate at a location like a Sheetz. But one thing that Ionna had promised is in all of their locations, there will be access to restrooms 24 hours, some sort of food and beverage, like you can get at Sheetz, coffee, sandwiches, things like that. And they'll always be in safe locations that are well lit. They're not going to get a location in the back of a parking lot of a Target or a Walmart like we've seen with some networks where, quite honestly, at night everything's closed. You can't use the restroom. Some of the areas seem kind of a little shady. Ionna said that none of their sites are going to be like that. They're always going to have amenities, restrooms, and so forth at the site. So that's good. And as far as the name, Ionna, a lot of people ask me, and here's the Sheetz right up here, is Ionna partnered or part of Ionity? Ionity is a charging network in Europe that's also owned by mostly automakers, and it's not. It really doesn't have anything to do with that. Although there are 3 of the automakers that are part of Ionity that are part of Ionna, and that would be Mercedes, BMW, and Hyundai. Let me see where the site is. I'm pulling into the Sheetz here, and the chargers aren't immediately visible, so it's probably on the other side of the building. So let me pull around here. But here in the US, Ionna is, oh, here it is right here. All right, I see some familiar faces here already. So I was gonna say, here in the US, Ionna, let me say hi to Kurt. Kurt, how are you?
Good, how are you doing, Tom?
Hey guys, how's everyone?
I didn't know you were coming today.
Yeah, I wasn't going to, but I made a last minute decision. Some things changed with the family today of the holidays, so I was able to come.
Hopefully
Yeah, well, a couple people were sick, but not really too bad. Anyway, I am recording. I will be pulling into one of the stations in a second and jump out and we'll chat.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, so as I was saying, here in the US, and now I don't know which way to go. I might have to back in, yeah. Let me pull in here, one second. Let me pull in like this here. And there are a lot of lightnings here. Okay, here in the US, I said that like 3 times. Ionna is operated by Mercedes, BMW, General Motors, Stellantis, Hyundai, Kia, Toyota, and Honda. Those are the 8 automakers that put a whole bunch of money in a pot and said, you know, we're gonna build a nationwide DC fast charging network, one that is reliable, that our customers like to use, and this is the first day of it. Now I will mention this is a soft opening, not a soft opening. They called it a beta opening. So it's open to the public. I'm going to pay full price. I think they're going to have an introductory price, but it's not like when we went down to Apex a couple of weeks ago. Anybody can pull in now and use the stations. These 4 sites are open as of today, but Ionna is calling it a beta opening. So maybe that's because their app isn't ready yet, which is a little disappointing. The Ionna app's not ready yet, so I need to swipe a credit card, which is okay. But now that everything's open, I would have hoped to have the app functioning and all that. So we have to wait a little bit on the app. I even tried, I searched the Play Store on my drive here to see if it was available, and it's not. There's nothing that lists in the Play Store yet for the Ionna app, but we're here. I'm gonna plug in, talk to some of the people here, get their opinions on what's going on here at Ionna, and then I'll head home. This video was sponsored by Qmerit, North America's premier installer of electric vehicle charging equipment. After I've helped you decide which electric vehicle charger you're going to buy, follow the link in the description of my videos and have Qmerit install it. And if you follow that link, Qmerit will waive the $150 installation deposit. But in order to have the deposit waived, you must follow the link in the description of my videos. All right, so I made it. I'm here at the Sheetz. I see some familiar faces down here from the Northeast F-150 Lightning Club. I am in stall, let me see, CCS3, and I'm going to plug into CCS3B now. So let's check out the process of how you initiate a charge at an Ionna station. Now these stations, there's 5 stations here, as there was in the Apex location. These stations power share. They're the Alpatronic HYC 400 chargers. They can deliver up to 600 amps per stall. They're 400 kilowatt chargers, so when they're splitting power, each station, each side can get up to 200 kilowatts. But they can dynamically power share, so one side can get more than 200 kilowatts. All right, so now let's go plug in the Lightning. Let's see how we do it here at Ionna. I have another camera recording here so we can check it out. What you take a look here is the price is 47 cents per kilowatt hour, and that's just an introductory rate. They have no idle fees. I'm sure that's going to change in the future. So let's take a look at the instructions. Start on the credit card reader. Okay, so select the connector. I'll be at 3B because 3A is taken. And now I'm going to hold my credit card up. It's authorizing, I guess it's pre-authorizing $75. It's approved, and now you plug in the vehicle, which is what I'm coming over here to do. 1 second with this connector. Okay, so now the Lightning's plugged in. Let's take a look at what we got going on over here. Preparing charging session, initializing, preparing power delivery, hang tight. Let's see how long the handshake takes. It took a little bit longer than I expected when I went down in Apex, but that could have been because it was really just like a beta test. But let's see. Yeah, it is taking a little bit longer than what I see. Well, now we're started. Okay, I'm at 28% state of charge and she's ramping up. Okay, so I'm all plugged in and charging the Lightning. And now what I'm going to do next is take a walk around, talk to some of the people here. I noticed it's mostly Lightning here. We do have a Silverado EV who I think is done charging and he's driving away right now. You might see him behind me. There he goes. And other than that, we've got a couple of Lightning out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Lightning and a Kia EV6. This is a busy Sheetz. Let's take a look what we have here. You gotta love these electric truck version of the truck nuts. It's the truck connectors. And look who we have over here. I wasn't expecting this, but we do have Ionna representative. This is Ricardo, the CPO.
He's the guy we could definitely ask about this 90%. So your favorite car is a F-150 Lightning. Last time we talked, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on camera. One of your favorites.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorites that I've owned. Maybe my favorite truck, electric vehicle that I've owned. I really love the Lightning.
So the F-150 Lightning Club is here, which maybe you're a part of as well?
I am.
Oh, there you go. So question for you.
Yeah.
So this gentleman here just got this F-150 Lightning.
Yes.
We plugged it in, he charged, stopped at 90%. We tried charging again and it aborted. And then as he went into the settings, there was a setting for a one-time max of 100.
Yeah, one-time max of 100%.
Does the Lightning just default to stopping at 90 on DC fast chargers, or?
So yeah, it has a default setting on DC fast chargers. Not when you're charging at home. You can set it to whatever you want to. If you want to charge to 100% on DC fast chargers, you have to go in there and set it to the one-time setting. I understand what Ford was doing with that, but I don't love that. But now that you know it, you won't have a problem with it.
Right.
Yeah, when you pull up, if you need to charge to 100%, which obviously you probably shouldn't do too often unless you absolutely need to. And let me come over here. And what's your name, by the way? Sean. Hi, I'm Tom.
Hi.
So yeah, if you need to, then you just press that one-time charge setting, and it goes up. That's something that almost no dealer will ever tell you. Like dealers struggle enough with electric vehicle stuff, but with that's like one of the real in the weeds things. But I mean, if you're going on a long trip, it's actually so much better to charge to about 80% and then pull off and then just stop again, because it charges so slow after that. Yeah. So anyway, cool. Good luck with your Lightning.
Yep.
Okay, so.
Well, I learned that today. I did not know that. I thought it was a charger, so we were freaking out.
And none of the other guys here from the Lightning Club helped out with that?
Well, he's the first one that got here, and we opened a little early, so 2 p.m. was the official time, but we had actually about 3 cars that were here. Yeah. So I took him into the Sheetz, we got him some free coffees. Still looked like it was a long time to wait. Yeah. So we got started a little bit early, so officially 2 p.m., maybe at 1 p.m. we opened up. He was one of the first ones to plug in, so he reached 91st.
Okay, well, very good. Well, that's what you do, and you know, it's once you know it, all you have to do is when you show up, you do one-time charge, you go to 100%, you're good. You know?
Yep.
So,
now we know. But Mr. Farley, maybe that's something that we should change on these Lightning, so we can give you that last 10% if you need it as a Lightning driver.
Yeah, you know, well, the thing is, like I said, it's a little wonky that it defaults to that, but as long as you know it does it, and now he knows it, he'll never make that mistake again.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? So, but anyway, so I didn't know. Do you have you have 4 different openings out here today. Do you have representatives at all of them today?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did a state by state. So North Carolina was first. That was at 8 in the morning.
Come over here.
Shankar, who you met, who's COO, is over there with Russell, our head of facilities, Angelica, and the whole Zulia team. You tasted their food. They opened up at 8. They were the first ones. What was it? It was at 12. We did basically Ohio with the 2 sites. We had people in both. And then you're at Scranton. Scranton was the official opening at 2, off the menu opening at 1, and we've been charging vehicles ever since. It's been an amazing turnout, not only from the F-150 Lightning Club, including yourself, but also earlier from people that actually were at Apex, and people from, you know, basically I would say probably a radius of a couple of hour drive.
Okay, well, while I have you here, I'm going to hit you with some cues.
Sure.
All right, so 47 cents a kilowatt hour. It says that's the introductory price, and there's no current idle fees. How long before you instill your real price, and then say, you know, with policies, maybe memberships? I think that's probably going to be part of it. If you join a membership, you get a discount. Everybody's doing it, so I'm assuming you're going to do that. You guys haven't commented on that yet, but how long before the introductory thing is over?
So we will take the introductory price into February. Now we might or might not change it. We're really getting feedback from people, and ultimately we'll pick the price that we think is right for the customer in that market and that drives the most utilization possible.
Okay, how about the app? On the way here, I tried to download the app. I thought maybe it might have just went live today because there's no app yet. How long do we have to wait for an app?
For the app, we might have to wait a little bit longer. So right now we are live, as you know, with credit cards, actual plug-in charge. We have successful plug-in charge sessions today. I'm happy to report on Mercedes and BMW vehicles. There's also the OEM apps, the ChargePoint app. I just tested this rented Kia EV6 with the ChargePoint app. It works there too. Ionna app will be coming next year. It's one of those things that it's gonna release when it's ready, when we're proud of it. We'll have extra functionality, but we will always leave it open to all forms of payment, all kinds of apps. We're here to roam with everybody, right? We want to change the game, and that means being as open as possible. Okay, so one of the things that I've got a lot of comments on my videos, I've done a couple videos on Ionna so far, is that and it's fitting for us here today because there's like 6 F-150 Lightning here, is that people are asking for pull-through stalls. And I know we talked about this briefly when I came down, but you know, do you have any pull-through stalls currently in like construction? Okay. Yeah. So actually I can tell you that we hinted at it in that end of year post. So Garner in North Carolina, which is about 20-minute drive south of that Apex location you were at, it's 100% pull through. Okay, all right, good. Because I mean, we need them, especially these major corridor routes.
Agreed. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Which is what we're under here. But I understand on a location like this where it's a Sheetz, you know, where it's not your property, it's not a big, you know, Flying J's where there's acres and acres of land. I understand why this location probably couldn't do it, but Ricardo, please, we need pull-throughs.
I'm a fan of pull-through. If I could do 100% pull-through everywhere, I would. To your point, it's finding the balance between bringing charging now where there's great locations that might not be able to do pull-through, but it's a great charging location otherwise. We'll do them. This is an example. We will try to do pull-through with partners like Sheetz as well, right? It's going to be site dependent. And you might have, like, not just like we did in Gardner where it's 100% pull-through, but you'll see that, you know, in places like Apex, we can come back and do a couple of pull-throughs as well. So we'll be strategic. To your point, Metro a little bit less important to do pull-through and not as much of a priority.
Agreed.
But when it comes to the corridor sites, that's where we're going to try to leave no stone unturned so we can do as much pull-through as possible. Okay, listen, thanks for your time. I'm going to walk around, chat with some of the people here and get their opinions on what you guys are doing. Please do. Thanks for your time. At home. All right, so I'm here with Curtis. Curtis is also a member of the F-150 Lightning Club, and you also came to my barbecue this year. I remember that was a good time we had. So, and we're standing in front of his blue Lightning here, which this color really pops. I love it. Atlas blue. Yeah, Atlas blue. He's got some aftermarket wheels on there. So, you know, you're customizing it a little bit. I like it. You're plugged in, you're charging. Yep. Initial impressions. I also noticed it's interesting, you're plugged into the NACS charger.
It was like all full when I got here. So I was like, oh, I'm going to use the Tesla one with my adapter.
And which adapter are you using?
The Ford one.
You got the official Ford one? Yep. Okay, cool.
And they sent me a replacement too, which they sent me the same exact one, but.
So you were in that batch?
Yeah.
That was bad. Yeah, that was.
They look identical, but it says if it has this number, whatever digits.
It wasn't a very large batch of adapters.
And I had no problems with it. I actually used it a whole bunch. The recalled one, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, no, I think whatever the issue was, I think it would have been a problem if you just continued to use it. You know, the short-term use wasn't going to create an issue. Okay, so this is your first experience with Ionna?
Yep.
What do you think so far?
I think it's all right. I love that Sheetz is my favorite charger location, whether it's Tesla or Electrify America. Both of those have Sheetz locations. So Sheetz is my favorite because it's 24/7, 365. So it's always open. There's always food. There's always a bathroom. So that checks a lot of the boxes of.
And Ionna has promised that all of their sites will have those conditions. They'll always have 24/7 amenities for restrooms, some type of food and beverage. So you'll never find an Ionna site in the back of some parking lot, dark, where you can't even use a restroom at night, which I think is good. Okay, how about the usability of the charger itself? What did you think about, how was the process of plugging in?
It's nice that I didn't need an app. I just pushed, I'm at 2B and put my card in, plug in, started right up.
And it starts up.
So I didn't have to download an app. Most other ones you need to download, like Tesla, you need an app, or you got to use the on the truck screen app, whatever you call that, the charging app on the truck. It would be nice if they had an overhead canopy, because there's snow out today, but at least they're keeping it decent. Yeah,
the Apex, North Carolina site that we went to had a canopy, and I know some of the Ionna sites are going to have canopies. Maybe it was an issue here with the fact that it's Sheetz' property and they didn't want them to do something like that. I don't know that, or maybe it was Ionna's decision just not to put in a canopy here. But you're right, that's really a nice amenity when it's raining or snowing, to have that cover over you, and
then like my second favorite charger locally around here is the Tesla in Wilkes-Barre, but that's in a Target parking lot. And now it's got a better setup as far as charging, because it's got 12 stalls, and there's one that's like off to the side that if you were pulling a trailer, you could plug into that. I usually just pull my truck up to that one because I'm not blocking extra Tesla stalls.
Yeah.
But the terrible thing about that is if you pull up there at 1 a.m., you're just in a parking lot and everything's closed. So and if you got to use a bathroom or something, you're
exactly you're either holding it in or doing what you shouldn't do on the site somewhere. But and that's one of the things that, and I know we mentioned this, that I think it's really good that Ionna's promised. And I asked them point blank, I said, well, what if there's a perfect location somewhere, but there's no restrooms, and you really need to bridge the gap between a corridor? They said, no, we're not. I
really hope they do more Sheetzes, that preferably ones that are like on like Route 309 and some, not the interstates. Like there's a lot of charging opportunities off the interstates. But if you get into the more rural roads where there's Sheetz locations, but there's no chargers anywhere.
Yeah. Well, they talked about their partnership with Sheetz. So I think these convenience store chains are starting to realize that this should be part of their planning. They really, for a while, and I actually talked to some of the major chains, their management, a few years ago, and their answer was, we're monitoring the situation. If we see that electric vehicle adoption continues to rise, or at a pace that people are expecting it to, we'll get more into it, and I think we're at the point now where I don't think they could ignore the fact that there's a lot of these cars out there, and it's good for business. We're captured customers. Today's a unique event where it's a grand opening, so we're all out here talking. But under normal circumstances, if we came here to charge along a route, we're getting out of our trucks, going in there, and spending money. And it's a good way to get somebody on your property. With a 20 or 30 minute dwell time. It could be 15 minutes. It depends on how much you need to charge. But a lot of people charge for 20 or 30 minutes, sometimes even a little bit longer. And you have them captured on your property for that time, and that's revenue. So
yeah, I go to Sheetz all the time, and I don't even need to charge. I'll be at like 50%, and I just stop, plug in, order food on the app, go in, get my food, come out, unplug, drive away.
Well, now you'll be able to hit up Ionna stations. Listen, thanks a lot, and good luck with your Lightning, and hopefully I'll run into you at another Ionna station one of these days.
I'll probably see your barbecue again this year.
Right, well, I'm all charged up to 80%, and did about a half an hour from 28% to 80%, and I'm going to leave. But one last thing I want to comment on, I did notice that there's a lot of combustion cars parking here. And there are open parking spaces in the parking lot, but this is a busy Sheetz, and this is going to happen. I've noticed this happens in the other convenience stores that have DC fast chargers, but the good thing about it is typically the cars don't dwell long. The person will probably be out and move their vehicle in like 5 minutes. So if you come to an Ionna station at a Sheetz, or if they have partnerships with other convenience stores, and you see ICE cars like this Honda here blocking you, just be cool, remain patient. The person will probably come out pretty quickly and move their car. There's no need to get into any kind of altercation or argument. We don't know exactly what the deals Ionna has with Sheetz. I know in New Jersey, there's the Wawa franchise that has a lot of DC fast chargers, a lot of superchargers, and the customers are allowed to park there with their combustion vehicles in supercharger stalls. They're not banned from parking there. That's the deal that Tesla has with Wawa, that there's, I think it's like 15-minute or 20-minute parking allowed for anybody. So if you do show up at an Ionna station and you're being blocked by a combustion vehicle like we have here, you might not even have the right to get upset with the person because they might be allowed to park there. Now, I know Ionna does have signs here that says EV charging, but as you can see behind me here, but it's not, you know, EV charging only. You know, all of the vehicles will be ticketed and towed. I'm sure Sheetz isn't going to ticket or tow any of their customers, even their combustion customers, if they're parking in these spaces here. But it is something to be cognizant of when you're at a location like this, a convenience store, and there's DC fast chargers. Combustion vehicles will park in those spots, and they're most likely allowed to. So don't get into any kind of confrontation with them or anything. Just wait until the car moves, and then you can plug in. Okay, I'm gonna head home. This was a positive experience. It's pretty much what I expected. There's 5 chargers, so that means there's 10 stalls here. That seems to be what Ionna is shooting for in the beginning, at least, as an average between 10 and 12 stalls. So this is kind of a typical Ionna site, what you're gonna see, at least now. We're hoping to get some pull-through stations soon, and as Ricardo said, we should be getting them soon. I think we need more of them, and all over the place, quite honestly. I think that's something that's dramatically underserved, and hopefully Ionna gets it and is going to install enough pull-through stations that it'll make long distance traveling with a trailer more convenient than it is today. Listen, if this is your first time here at State of Charge, please hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming electric vehicle news and reviews. And as always, thanks for watching.